Hey folks, it's Medicine with me once again, and it's your boy Dr. Mario Guthrie, aka Mario Evan, and of course we're talking medicine and we're keeping it simple. Today we talk social distancing. Well, move from me. Social distancing, aka physical distancing, is a set of non-pharmaceutical disease control measures or actions that are taken to prevent the spread of a contagious disease. Alright, that's a complicated definition. Long and short is, you're not using medication, you're not using drugs, but you're doing certain things in order to prevent people who have the disease from getting into contact with people who don't have the disease. We don't want them to meet, and that's the purpose of social distancing. Why do we social distance? We social distance with the intention to stop the spread of the disease, especially if there is no treatment or cure, or to at least lessen the rate of spread of the infection, right? Of course, with the aim of decreasing sickness and decreasing death, and of course, decreasing the burden on the healthcare system. That's why we social distance. But most people like to call it physical distancing as well, because we don't want to remove the social component. So socializing is really important. So people want to go on WhatsApp, FaceTime, Zoom, talk to your people, whether it's virtual, whether it's digital, however you like to make it happen, just make it happen. Because socializing is really important to mental sanity. So physical distancing sometimes is used. Alright, so what are some of the things that we do for social distancing? The actions include everything that the Jamaican government has been doing, which includes school closure, quarantine, isolation of specific areas that disease has started to spread in, work from home if you can work from home, stopping large major events like carnivals and champs and these kind of things, limiting mass transit. These are the kind of things we're talking about. Anything where you can get a group of people gathered, less weddings, less funerals, less parties, just less people. In Jamaica, we've limited our public space gatherings to less than 20 people. The United States, in some states, are doing less than 10 people. Long and short is we don't want no heap of people together in a one place. So if you're there around people, don't be around them. Next thing I want to talk about is what distance is the right distance, because different countries and different organizations are using different distances. How do I know how far away to stay from someone if in a public space while we're social distancing? Some people say 1 meter. Is it 1 meter, Mario? Australia says 1.5 meters. Is it 1.5 meters? Some people are going up to 2 meters. So right now people are going anywhere between 1 meter to 2 meters. And for those of you who like details, like I do, because distance is important, 1 meter is 3.28 feet. 1.5 meters is 4.92 feet. And yes, I have to read it. 1.82 meters is equal to 6 feet. 6 feet, 1.82. And finally, 2 meters actually is 6.56 feet, which is where some people get the 6.5 foot distance away from somebody else. Well, there's a reason for this distance. A lot of people aren't explaining why this happens, but there was a study in April 2013, the Journal of Infectious Diseases, which spoke about pretty much droplet spread for influenza for patients who are under care by practitioners. They pretty much had an experiment where they experimented with different distances from patient to healthcare provider, and their conclusion was that if somebody was within 6 feet of an infectious patient, that it increased their risk of being infected by either coughing or sneezing. Within 6 feet. So you don't know what me decide already. 6 feet of my distance, it done already. I don't know 3 foot, I don't know 4 foot, I don't know 4.5, I don't know 4 much, I do 6. I do 6.5 feet. A nice way to imagine this is, imagine that friend of yours who is 6 foot tall. Imagine them lying down flat on the ground with their head against your foot and maybe them foot way down. So that would be pretty much the distance of 6 feet. So think of a 6 foot tall person that's lying down flat beside you. Just to give an estimation, if you cannot see it in your head. But long and short is, I'm working with 6 feet, so nobody come closer than 6 feet to me, alright? Thanks. So guys, I just want to put the 6 feet thing in context again. So that medical study was really implying that if somebody coughed or sneezed and you were within 6 feet, you actually had the potential of getting infected with influenza was what they did that study on. What that really means is that a cough or a sneeze can spray droplets from your mouth as far, potentially as far as 6 feet. Just wrap your head around that. Anyway, you hear how loud some people sneeze? Can you imagine the force that's generated to develop that sneeze? A droplet could reach you over there. Just over. That's all. So some of the drawbacks of social distancing or physical distancing really include a lot of stuff. Loneliness, decreased productivity, and of course all of the decreased benefits of human interaction, hugging, kissing, sex. That will be in another video. Sex and COVID, I'm sure you'll want to check that out. So I mean, of course, without people around you, you really start to feel crazy, because then you realize that we actually do need people to feel kind of sane. Family, friends, even people that you don't like at work. It's true. All right, so we don't want this to go on for too long, but we have to abide by the rules because we don't want a lot of people to be infected. To drive the social distancing point home a little bit, just the other day I was in Island Grill, and I swear to you, they were letting in 20 people at a time. Everybody had to use hand sanitizer, but right on my shoulder was a man breathing down my neck, and I really wanted to be like, sir, 6 feet, 6 feet. He was here, like personal space, bro. Which party? All right, long and short, his brother was really close to me. I almost got a little verbal, but I decided to hold my corners, but he was way too close. And I mean, I fear for the future, because I fear that people are going to start to get very nasty with personal space and social physical distancing. Let's see what happens. So one of the biggest implications of social distancing, as I said before, was to decrease the spread of disease. And this is best expressed with the curve. People have been talking about flattening the curve. Mario, what is this flipping curve? If you haven't done math since you were in, I don't even know, prep and primary school, you don't even know what the hell a bell curve is. So let me explain this graph over here. And pretty much what it is, you have two things called axes. You have the x-axis and the y-axis. The x-axis runs horizontally, which is a crossway line, so, and the y-axis runs vertically, which is the line will go up, so. And the one will go up, so, is the one that looks at your number of cases. Number of cases, total number of cases. The one that goes horizontally looks at time. So long and short, this one increases that way, number of cases, and time increases this way. So as time moves along, the cases will move. And what typically happens with a pandemic is that you have a bell curve. Sometimes you have a very aggressive bell curve, which is what we don't want. And sometimes you have a very mellow, kind of gentle curving, hopefully close to flat bell curve, which is what we're trying to create. So what is happening, like in Italy, pretty much people got infected very quickly, and you have exponential spread, like doubling, tripling, like people just getting sick one on top of the other. And the implication of that is that the more people that get sick at the same time burdens your healthcare system significantly. So there's this dotted line that runs across the graph. And what that line represents is the capacity of your healthcare system. The capacity of a healthcare system is the number of doctors you have, the number of ventilators you have, the number of nurses you have, the number of porters you have, the number of beds you have, just how many people you can cater to, period. And when you break your capacity, then it's just chaos. And you don't want that. Jamaica barely have any ICU, but it's such a small country, which means that if a lot of people get sick at the same time, there won't be enough beds, there won't be enough staff, there won't be enough people to take care of all of these sick people. Hence why we're not seeing each other right now. And that's fine, because we're going to make it through. So as you can see over here, the really high black line is the steep bell curve that we're trying to avoid, which means plenty of people get sick in a short time. And that happens when you do nothing. Not a smart move. But as you look below and you move along, you see, as you add a different measure, you close a school, you have people working from home. As you add an extra thing, the curve gets flatter and flatter and flatter. And this is what happens when you're aggressive about social distancing. This is important. This is the curve, flattening. Yeah, flatten curve. Flat down, flatten them down. I was trying to create a song with Tatiana. Bust down, daddy, flat down, daddy. All right, forget that. All right, long and short is we want the curve to be flat. Stay home. One thing a lot of people aren't talking about because they don't want to get you scared is what could happen down the line. People are just thinking, okay, we'll stay home for a few months and then we can run back out and be wild and free and have soca fits and be happy. But that's not exactly what happens. The curve to my left demonstrates what can happen in 5 months' time. And what you need to recognize is that social distancing is preventing sick people from meeting well people. What that means is that the sick person has the virus, but the well person doesn't. Meditate on that a little bit. It means that these people will develop short-term immunity and they'll be fine. They're not likely to get sick again immediately. Not likely. But these people have never, ever gotten the virus. What that means is that if you release the gate, if you fly the gate and the people then run out, then other people who still have the COVID-19 virus could infect the ones who had been hiding in their house and were well. Problematic because you end up getting another curve. It won't be as steep as the first curve because you have a bunch of people where, all right, they go through the gate, them get it, them recover, them through the system. But all the people who were in hiding, who never got it, them come out now. And if them book an imported case, if you open up the airport, or if we go on one dance and somebody will still have it and shedding an infectious and cough and give it to me, then again you have this spread again in a similar kind of way, but a smaller curve. What this means, which we haven't discussed yet, and we'll see how it really goes, is that our social distancing may have to be staggered. So maybe schools might be reopened at some point when things are under control, but don't be surprised if we're asked to go back inside again. We may have a staggering of in and out. So don't get too comfy thinking that you're going to party in 3 or 4 or 5 months because we are not sure what's going to happen. So just be prepared for that. You know, I like to prepare my people. That's why I'm here to tell you the truth. So get used to being alone because it could be a little while. I don't know, we'll see. And to wrap up, I just wanted to share some of my most fun social distancing pictures, which you'll see as I chit chat right here and just play around with some of the crazy things that could happen. You can imagine if Champs said keep, my God, if Champs said keep and you're virgin them go, then you go rubber lock. One nice calabar cough, you just infect 6 people one time and then those 6 people then infect another people and the whole stadium is infected. You can imagine carnival, if carnival they keep, Jamaican government, big up yourself, that's really what they're trying to say here, big up on yourself and locking down the place. Again, not perfect, but trust me, doing good, guys. Big up the Ministry of Health and Wellness and all of the epidemiologists and public health workers and everybody involved. They're working so hard, guys. Yeah, do I have any more social distancing pictures? Or maybe I'll put up a video. I don't know. All right, it's probably time to go. Guys, subscribe, like, rate. You need to subscribe to 2 channels, by the way. Dr. Mario Guthrie, which now has a YouTube name. It's youtube.com/Mario Guthrie. Subscribe. Share with your friend. And guess what? Follow and subscribe the Mario Evan channel. Somebody has to eat in here while we're not. Please subscribe, guys. Follow them over here somewhere now. I know that they're over here. So click on them and subscribe and share with your friends and your family. I hope I've given you some good information. Stay safe. Wash those hands, people. More videos to come.